We are going to take you to an event and a story that we've been following now for quite some time in Minneapolis. ICE has been told to go there by the Trump administration. People are saying they're attacking the Somali community and Somali citizens in Minneapolis. We've been following this story all week, press conferences, events, and covering Trump's comments on Somali citizens. We will continue to do that. Let's listen in here to this event.
I'll send you. Okay, sounds good. Okay, sounds good.
Great, thanks.
All right, for our speakers, just make sure to, when you speak, just share your name and then spell it out for the media. Thank you. All right. You guys ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Khalid Umar, spelled as Khalid, and then last name is Omar, Omar. I'm an organizer with Isaiah and Faith in Minnesota. So we're here with our neighbors today to...
We have it louder, please. We can't hear you back here.
Oh, okay.
We're here with our neighbors.
Yeah, we're here today. Yeah, I'd like to. Check. Tech issues. Okay. Sorry, we're having some technical issues, but it's okay. We're Minnesotans. We figure things out.
We were going to be 2 minutes early, so now we'll be on time.
Oh, now we'll be on time. That's good.
Okay. I'll give you guys some context on what you're watching here. As we watch them here, they're continuing to look like fix some technical difficulties that they are experiencing there. So we'll wait till the speakers begin speaking. Maybe it's work. Okay, we'll see if that mic gets to working for them. This is moments ago from KMSP. We'll continue talking just a little bit about what this is all about. Okay, never mind. Looks like it's starting. Let's listen back in.
Spelled as Khalid, and my last name is Omar, Omar. Today we're in community, and in our community there's a saying: when the spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. This moment requires unity. It requires, because what's happening to our Somali Americans in Minnesota is unacceptable, un-American, and it's extremely dangerous. Over the last few days, our community has been terrorized by ICE agents and federal officers who have come into our neighborhoods and our workplaces and questioned people with citizens, who have U.S. passports. And today I just came back from our Friday prayer. And a lot of the community, what they're experiencing today is fear. But our message to our community and to all Minnesotans is very clear. We are greater than fear. We are greater than fear. We heard one case last night, actually, where 4 Somali Americans who were having lunch, who were just mingling together, who finished a conversation. And right after that conversation, as they were leaving the restaurant, they were approached by ICE agents and federal officers. And they were questioned. All 4 of them were U.S. citizens. And they were questioned of if they have their passport or if they have their citizenship. That is shame. That is shame, and that is un-American. And there's no American that should be questioned whether they have a citizenship or their passport here in our state, and we reject that at all times. In history, and also in our books of literature, we hear that when an authoritarian government wants to control, they weaponize the state and government to intimidate entire communities. And this is what we see from our president. An authoritarian who wants to hurt and create cruelty for communities across our country. And in Minnesota and across our country, we reject that. And here in Minnesota, we know who we are. Is that right? And we know who our neighbors are. Is that right? Somali Americans are part of this fabric. They are our educators. They are our doctors. And they are our children who are going to these public schools, and we don't accept anyone to tell us we're not Americans because we know who we are. Is that right? We are Americans and we don't accept that. And here in Minnesota, we care for one another. And when one of us gets stuck in the snow, what do? We push them out, we get them out of the snow. That's what we do in Minnesota. And also in Minnesota, we're also Vikings fans too. Even when they're having the most difficult times. Because what we know as Minnesotans, just as we stand up for the Vikings, we stand up for our neighbors. Our country is at a moment in history right now. We're at a moment where we have to decide who we are as a country. And here in Minnesota and here in this room, we are deciding that we are here for our neighbors and we are here for all Americans. And today we have with us clergy, neighbors, elected officials, and we'll be having a few of our elected officials and also our pastors and our clergy who will be saying some few remarks. With that, I want to welcome our first speaker, the director of this mosque, Brother Ali Hassan, to say a few words. Please help me welcome Brother Ali Hassan.
Thank you for everyone for being here. My name is Ali Muhammad, first name A-L-I, last name O-H-A-M-E-D. Thank you for coming here. What Trump said is a bigotry, racism, Islamophobia. The words of Trump, President Trump, cannot divide us. We are united, we are more stronger than that. So please, thank you for your support. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much. And our next speaker is Pastor Maria Lippert. Please help me welcome her.
My name is Maria Anderson Lippert, M-A-R-I-A, and then Anderson, A-N-D-E-R-S-O-N hyphen L-I-P-P-E-R-T. Sorry, I know it's long. I am a pastor in the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America, serving University Lutheran Church of Hope, two more long names for you, in Minneapolis. However, we are gathering right now in the neighborhood in which I live and where I call home. When my husband and I moved to Bloomington in 2018, we were glad to learn of the number of mosques that were walking distance from our house. We live 6 blocks south of Dar el-Farouk and about a mile directly west of here. We intentionally chose to live in this community with our Somali neighbors because our differences and our diversity make our community stronger, more resilient, more loving, and the best place, and I mean that the best place to raise our children. People who are Somali have been a part of my midwifery team when I had my kids. They provided care for my church members and still do when they are in the hospital or in the nursing home, and we are quite literally neighbors. We watch our children ride bikes together around the library parking lot on summer nights after it's closed for the evening, and we are literally in early childhood classrooms together, and we drop off and pick up our kids for school together every day. In fact, I'm going to go do that in about a half an hour. A couple of months ago, I gathered with some of you here at Dar el-Farouk after an arson event in our community, and I shared the quote from Mother Teresa that says, "If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten we belong to each other." And I've continued to think about this sentiment as I have been joining with my faith leader colleagues and friends from various faith traditions in the past few days. And I've realized that while the president is trying to turn us against each other, we are not allowing him to do so. Right? And while it is a very scary time and the threats in our communities are real, we together do have peace because we have not forgotten that we belong to each other. That's right. I look around this room and I see friends and I see neighbors. My promise to you, my Somali neighbors, is that we will not forget. We are with you. My congregation and community is with you because that is what our Christian faith demands of us. Right. We belong to each other, and we are not going to let racist language or ICE or anything else cause us to forget that. We have peace, and together we are greater than fear. Right. Thank you for being my community.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Our next speaker will be Senator Erin Murphy.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Erin Murphy, Erin Murphy, and I'm the proud Senate Majority Leader. I'm also an Irish American, and I'm proud to stand here today with my colleagues, so many, who are joining me today. And as a human, and as a Minnesotan, and as American, we are Americans together. And I don't believe that we should have to one more time remind each other of the fundamentals of what it means to be an American. But the person who is the current president is weak, and I think he's afraid, and he's using the tools he has used repeatedly since he has decided to run for office, to bait us, to divide us, to make us fearful. And there are reasons right now that people in our human community are afraid, because he's sending people into harm's way. And that, from my perspective, is unforgivable. It is inexcusable and unforgivable, and as we like to say, it is un-American, and it is. And there are many days now when I read the news and my heart is broken one more time by the actions of this president and his Republican colleagues in Congress. But then I remember who I am a part of, the community that says we belong to each other. We look out for each other. We are each other's keeper. And I dust myself off like everybody else and say, what good will I do today? Today, my colleagues in the Senate, the Democrats, sent a letter to our Republican colleagues in the House and the Senate, asking them, inviting them to join us in denouncing the language and actions of this president. And we did that not as partisans, but as proud Americans standing up for the ideals of this country. It is a long haul between now and when this presidency ends, and we will have to stand together day after day after day. And I want you to know that I recognize that I'm not in harm's way right now, but if I am, I will stand with you. And that we have to look out for each other to make sure that the America that we believe in is strong, open, brave, courageous, welcoming America is the America of our future. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Senator Erin Murphy. Now I'll have Imam Assad, the Executive Director of Muslim American Society of Minnesota. Please help me welcome him.
Assalamu alaikum, greetings of peace. I want to begin by sharing a personal reflection. I am an immigrant. I am what I call an American by choice. I chose to come to this country because it was the shining city on the hill. It was the country of freedom. When I was in high school, I heard stories about how in the Soviet Union, a country supposedly formed for the freedom of people, that citizens of the Soviet Union had to carry passports to walk around in their own country. And I come from Bangladesh, where that was not the norm. Like, Bangladeshis don't walk around with passports. And so I chose to come to the country of freedom. I chose to come to America. And I chose America, and America chose me. I took my citizenship. I came here in 1992. When Trump got elected, I ordered and started carrying a passport card in my wallet. And today it broke my heart that in my sermon, among the advice I gave to my people is that if you are a citizen, carry your passport or your passport card with you. It saddened me to say that, but too many of my people have been kidnapped in broad daylight, and this is one way of helping some of them not get disappeared. This is a sad day for America, when citizens are feeling the need to carry passports on their person just so they can walk around, just so they can worship, just so they can go to the grocery store, just so they can pick up their kids from daycare. We urge all elected officials to reject this type of divisive and hateful rhetoric. This is not making America great. This is not helping. We urge the president to walk away, to step away from the language of hate. You are supposed to be the president of all of America. And you actually need to do your job.
That's right. That's right.
It is your job to protect and defend all of us. And we urge all elected officials to also not fall for this language of divisiveness and hate. That is not going to make Minnesota a better place.
Right.
And also I want to say this to the elected officials, to those who are here and those who are not here. This is un-Minnesotan, and Minnesotans will reject you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
This here is not the kingdom of Trump.
That's right.
In this nation, we have this magical thing called elections. And we want elected officials to understand that when you step out of line, when the values you keep espousing are contrary to the values of the vast majority of Minnesota, you will be rejected.
That's right.
To our allies, to the Muslim community, to the Somali community who are being subjected to this fear campaign, I urge you, do not be afraid. We are greater than fear.
That's right.
And we have banded together a large coalition, 30 mosques, 200 churches, 200 daycare centers, 150 barbershops.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
We have allies. We're going to watch out and protect each other.
That's right.
And we are doing this event on December 13th,
Yeah.
where we will come together and shape our own political destiny of how we can build a multicultural, multiracial Minnesota that actually works for everybody.
Right. Yeah.
I urge you to join this inclusion movement, this inclusive movement. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Imam Assad. And now, please help me welcome Reverend Diane.
Good afternoon. I'm Reverend Diana McLean, DIANAMCLEAN, and I serve as minister of the Minnesota Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship here in Bloomington. One of the foundational beliefs of Unitarian Universalism is the inherent worthiness and dignity of every person. Every person, no exceptions. It does not matter what your race, religion, or immigration status is, you are sacred just as you are. No human is garbage, despite the appalling rhetoric of the president.
That's right.
When the President of the United States uses hateful language about our Somali American neighbors, my faith calls me to respond with love, with a clear message that our Somali American neighbors are beloved members of our community, and that their lives, your lives, are every bit as important as anyone else's. As a Minnesotan, I value the Somali Americans in our community. Small business owners, teachers, healthcare providers, and elected officials serving our community and our state. They make our community richer. They make it stronger. Attacks on them are against not only my faith, but my values as a human being, a Minnesotan, and a United States citizen.
That's right.
Yesterday, I heard local Minnesota musician Ann Reed sing her song, Love This Life, which includes the lyrics, "For every hateful word, I'll say 10 loving verbs to mend this tattered flag of mine." I invite us to be among those who will say words of love and do acts of love to outweigh the hateful words and actions taking place. Let us reject messages and attitudes of fear and hate, messages that strive to divide us rather than unite us. Let us respond from our shared values as Minnesotans, regardless of our faith.
Alrighty, you are continuing to listen in there to an event from just moments ago, a community event there in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where officials there, state and local officials, and just people of the Somali community are addressing the impact of the recent ICE deployment. We are going to continue monitoring that event and bring you back to it right after this 2-minute break. We're back here in just a moment. Welcome back into Brooklyn News Live on this Friday, 3:35 p.m. now as we continue to monitor what's going on over at the White House. President Trump, of course, earlier today participating in the World Cup last draw. We played it live here for you just a little earlier. We are going to go back to this event over in Minneapolis, though, where they are talking about the effects on the Somali community and the ICE deployment. Let's listen back in.
United States of America. Our next speaker, please help me welcome Mayor St. Paul Mayor-elect Her.
Good afternoon. You know, what has been happening across our country and our city weighs so heavily on my own heart because I came to this country as a refugee. And I became naturalized as a citizen when I was in middle school, and my parents became American citizen. And we took that oath very seriously. And throughout my time being in this country and loving this country and calling this country home, I have watched communities, families get torn apart. I started going to ICE check-ins with people with removal orders back in May of this past year already, and watching how he has systematically targeted our immigrant and refugee communities. That he came after my Southeast Asian community back in June and July. Then we saw him move on to other communities, the Karen community, and now our Somali brothers and sisters. So Trump is once again weaponizing the federal government to attack a community that is central to our city's identity. I will not allow St. Paul to be used to indiscriminately advance his divisive and hateful agenda against the immigrant community under the guise of legal proceedings. To the Somali community, this news is scary. I will always be in your corner, and that support will never be undermined. I want you here, and you belong here. That's right. I will stand with our community advocates and fight for our Somali, Karen, Southeast Asian, immigrants and refugees everywhere from all communities that this administration is targeting. St. Paul will not be a partner, silent or otherwise, to these attacks. I stand with you, and I will always be with you. Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much. One thing that I forgot earlier to share was that yesterday a mother was sharing with me that her children were asking her, "Mom, do we have to carry our passport and our citizenship to school?" You know who's really terrorizing our community? It is our president who's terrorizing our community, who's putting fear in those children and families across. That is shame. What is that? Shame. So with that, I want to welcome our next speaker, Senator Wickland.
Thank you. My name is Melissa Wickland. It's W-I-K-L-U-N-D. I am the state senator, and I have the privilege and honor of representing this part of Bloomington in the Minnesota Senate. And I am so happy to be here today to stand in solidarity with my neighbors, my Somali Minnesotan neighbors, all of my neighbors in Bloomington, Richfield, and Minneapolis, and share that we will not be made afraid of these actions, and we will stand up for our neighbors and be there for them in their time of need. It is just should go without saying that families and children should not have fear when they go to school about things that our president of our United States says about people. They shouldn't feel fear. They shouldn't feel afraid. They should be free to belong, just as all the students in the schools. So I am very concerned about how things are going, but I am heartened by the support that we see in our neighborhoods, and I see it across Bloomington. I'm very appreciative of the support that my neighbors are showing, and I will continue to stand up and show that we are better than this. I'm proud to be a citizen of Bloomington. I'm proud to be a Minnesotan, and I'm proud to be a Minnesotan with Somali American neighbors as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Wickland. Please help me welcome Senator Zainab Mohammed.
Thank you, Khalid. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. It is wonderful to be here with all of you, and thank you to our neighbors for showing up. This is what Minnesota looks like.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And I think what we've learned the last few days, weeks, the last long 10 months is that Donald Trump wants us to hate our neighbors. Yeah. And in Minnesota, we're showing absolutely not.
That's right.
We will not be divided.
Right.
We are not afraid of each other. And we are not afraid of Donald Trump.
No.
We are not afraid of Donald Trump.
He's a bully.
That's right.
That's right.
And speaking of bully, Somali Americans make up about less than 90,000 here in Minnesota. And across the country, less than 200,000. This is a tiny, tiny community. And this is the most powerful man in the world who's choosing his next target. Yeah. It starts with us, but it will not end with us.
That's right.
This is political theater, and it's a waste of taxpayer money.
That's right.
What we know over the last 3 days since they've been here, is this. They've deployed hundreds of agents, not just in the Twin Cities, but across the state of Minnesota.
No.
Because Somalis don't just live in Minneapolis and St. Paul.
Yeah.
We live in rural America.
Yeah.
We are your farmers.
Yeah.
We live in the suburbs. We live in the Twin Cities. This is our home. And they've only picked up 12 people. Out of those, only 5 are Somali. It is what we have always said. The target is not us, because we are American citizens. We are naturalized citizens. Norwegians have been here 6, 7 generations. Somali Minnesotans have been here 2, 3 generations.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is home.
Right.
This is their home.
Yeah. Right.
And so thank you for being here. And thank you for showing up the last few days. What we are telling our community is carry your passports. My mother called me the other night because my older brother is a truck driver, and he's a United States citizen like everybody else. And she's like, he needs to carry his passport. You need to tell him. And so I'm telling my family, I'm telling my friends, I'm telling my community to carry their passports, because what we are dealing with is not law enforcement that wants to carry out immigration policies. They are not here to enforce laws in this state. They are here to be bullies.
That's right.
They are showing up with unmarked cars. Yes. They are not identifying themselves. They are not. They don't have any judicial thing to show why they're here. They are bullies. They are thugs.
Yeah.
Thugs are not allowed in our community.
Right.
They're thugs. And Somali Minnesotans are powerful. We are the economic engine of this state. Minnesota would not be able to survive, let alone thrive without us.
Yeah.
And I know right-wing media has been picking that up, so eat that up again. Anyway, thank you for being here. We are all in this together, but just remember, this is not a fight with Somali people. This is a fight against all of our communities. And it's important that we stick together, because united, we are so much more stronger.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Senator Zainab Mohammed. Now I want to welcome Representative Nathan Coulter.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Representative Nathan Coulter, C-O-U-L-T-E-R. I serve District 51B, which is basically the eastern half of the city of Bloomington in the Minnesota House. And I am, as you can probably tell, recovering from a cold, so my voice is a little bit weak, but I want my point to be extremely clear. What that president said was racist and vile, but more importantly, it is a lie.
That's
and
right.
we all know it is a lie.
That's right.
Our Somali neighbors make our state better and stronger.
Yes.
More importantly, though, we need to be very clear that what the president said was harmful and deeply dangerous.
Yeah.
We are not so far removed from rhetoric exactly like that, inspiring someone to drive from a different state to bomb a church and school right here in Bloomington. We are better than that as Minnesotans, and that's why we are here. And I think, for me, at this time of year, the saddest irony of all of this is that folks of my own faith tradition are preparing to celebrate Christmas, which is at its heart a story of a family of political migrants fleeing a would-be despot. That's right. That is not who we are. We will stand together. I am so proud to be a lifelong resident of Bloomington and a lifelong resident of Minnesota. I am so proud to be here with my neighbors and to call this wonderful, incredible group of people my neighbors. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much. So, to close this press conference, I just want to say one thing. We know that this is a distraction.
Alrighty, you've been listening again to a quite lengthy press conference now at a community event being held there in Minneapolis as they address the ICE deployment and its impact on Somali immigrants and residents there. We have a lot to talk about still. It's been a busy news day, of course. We do want to turn, though, to just to provide the other side of the story here, what President Trump is saying. This about Somali immigrants. This is the president. This is going to be him on Wednesday. Take a listen.
Ripped off that state for billions of dollars. Billions. Every year. Billions of dollars. And they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
President Donald Trump there reacting to a question about Somalis being in this country, and that's why we've been following this so closely, because those are the remarks President Trump is making. Clearly, of course, going to fire up people on the Somali, fire up communities that have a lot of Somali citizens, and that's what we're seeing here. So this is going to be a story that we are going to continue to follow. He calls them garbage, and we don't want to accept garbage in this country, and that's why we have been so closely following this. A quick break, more to come right here on Brooklyn News Live.